opportunity to, obviously, you would want to step back, get the hands up this way. The reason why we would do this is because if that attacker had a knife, you won't get your tendons, your flexor tendons, or your arteries slashed, right? So you would want to actually posture this way with your hands up, right? That is if you had the opportunity to get prepared. Most self-defense situations, you don't have that opportunity, right? Most self-defense situations, it's going to be, hey, give me your money kind of thing. It's going to be very quick, right? So you have to react, right? The way we could react off of if somebody was to grab the wrist, typical reaction would be, bad guy's probably going to have a weapon here. This is going to be his empty hand. If he's pulling in, what we would want to do is step with the force of that grip. And as I'm moving in with his force, you're going to notice how his arm gets jammed up, right? As the arm is getting jammed up, I'm just lifting it up. And now if you look, if we turn this way, you're going to see the weak part of his grip is right there. All I need to do is orient my arm this way and then shuffle right out. And now everything is with me. He's still over there. The key is when we do these kind of techniques, we don't want to be overly aggressive. A lot of people would say, oh, if the guy grabbed me, I would just start kicking him and punching him and blah, blah. Now you're in for a fight. So if that happens, you're in trouble, right? You don't want to do that. What you want to do is the guy pulls, hey, buddy, what's up? Is there a problem? That's how you want to approach that. Staying calm is the key, okay? So again, you have your straight wrist grab, which is basically he's pulling, and I'm stepping into the force of the pull, just turning my wrist up. I'm bringing my elbow nice and close. I'm turning, and I'm basically shuffling out that way. I'm just kind of shuffling back on a left rear corner, 45 degree. You'll see it from this side as well, all right? So I'm here stepping, and I step back that way, and the hands come up, okay? That's the first technique. Now, if anybody wants to try, and I suggest that you do, you could stand up, work with me, and I can walk you through these techniques so you can feel it. It's important that to get an idea, you try and you feel it. And I might actually, because I'm in a good mood, so I might randomly start picking people. This counts for your P&P, but no, I'm just playing. All right. So that's the first technique. That's called a straight wrist grab. Right, so we're here, like that, straight wrist grab, right and left, right? Every technique we do, we work from both angles, both sides. So anything you do on your left side, you should be able to do on your right side. That's very important. A lot of people are what we call one-handed fighters. They only fight well from one side, and if you get jammed up, you still need to know how to respond. Another technique would be the cross wrist grab. Somebody can grab you across this way. Right? Now this is a little different. I wouldn't necessarily do this. That's not going to work, right? This requires a little bit more finesse, if you will. Because what happens here is I would want to trap his hand. I would want to keep him close, all right? So I'm going to bring him up, and I'm going to bring him here. Now what's going to happen is I'm just going to lock my hand around here while I'm pinning him here. And once I do that, all I need to do now is twist, and I get a reaction. See his reaction? Wow, look at that. Wow. I could I could destroy his wrist and his elbow just with that one little motion right there. Right? Very simple. What we do is the path of least resistance. We don't want to go crazy and cowabunga and none of that stuff. We just want to be safe, right? So from the cross wrist grab, I'm just basically, as soon as I feel a contact, I pin and I shuffle forward this way. Once I pin and shuffle forward, I'm holding him this way and I'm wringing out his wrist, like as if I'm wringing out a washcloth. And that is the reaction you're going to get. In the street, this would be a lot more robust. I would be putting a lot of juice on this in the street. I would want to break everything in here. I would twist very hard, and that would destroy that arm, hopefully. Right? From the other side, it's the same technique. I step this way. As I step, I get that lock, I get that twist, and you're going to get a similar reaction. Okay? So we have straight wrist grab, and we have cross wrist grab technique. Any questions so far? None? Any volunteers?
You follow correctly.
I'm sorry?
You step, you follow correctly, right?
So you
to
got
go
it.
to another step.
Oh, you mean footwork-wise? You want to see the footwork for the technique? Is that what it is?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, sure, okay. All right, I'll do both, because the footwork is actually not the same. So we'll do straight wrist grab, right? So the footwork would be me basically leading with the arm that he's grabbing with. So the foot, if he grabs me with by my left, I need to lead with my left foot, all right? So as soon as he starts to pull and I feel that energy, the common reaction that people give is when they feel a pull, they want to pull back, and now you're fighting, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to fight the person, because we don't know how strong this person is. They could be immensely strong, and if you find yourself like this, you have to assume they can win that battle, right? So what we do is again, we use the path of least resistance. We're using soft energy to overcome hard energy, right? So once he pulls, now if I follow in, this is already putting him in a disadvantageous position right here. I could already feel his arm trembling, actually. This is no good. I can off balance him. I could step here, break his ankle. There's all kinds of stuff we can do. But we just want to keep it nice and simple. Once I turn this way, notice the step. I step, I turn. Now everything moves with me. When you move your body, you move your whole body. You don't just leave your arm out there or just, move a leg. Everything has to move. So when I move back, everything moves with me. You see that? That's part of the key. That's more of the martial art aspect of self-defense, but that is part of the key, is moving everything, not just, a limb. If I just do this, he can easily overcome that because that's just arm strength. But if I do this, it's very difficult for him to overcome the whole weight of my body. That's going to be very difficult. All right, did that answer your question, the footwork? Okay, excellent. All right, so there's a couple of things I actually want to show here. So another thing that's pretty common, and this will work well for the ladies that have the high heel shoes like Rhonda, weapons. They don't call those stilettos for nothing. I'm going to borrow Gio for a second because he's a little larger. It'll help out. Plus, he looks like a bad guy with this guy. Right. So one common thing is you grab from behind. This is pretty common right here, right? There is a couple of ways we can deal with this, right? One of the main things you want to do is you want to hollow out. You see that? So I want to put some space between myself and him, right? Once I put that space, and if I really wanted to be mean, you could actually just bend over very quickly, and that would hit him in the stomach, and that could potentially blow the wind out, right? But for this particular technique, since it's for the ladies, you would just simply hollow out this way, right? You want to grab this hand here, and then here we go right here, boom, right there. You step, just turn this way, right? Excellent, right? So you got those big heels like Rhonda, bam, we're stepping right here, all right? Once you step here, have you ever looked at the top of your own foot? You see all those veins and arteries? That's what we're destroying. You step on that 2 or 3 times, and then you get your kick right here, boom. Break the knee, boom, right? From here, you could, there's a couple of ways we could do this. From here, we could come underneath and slide out and get an arm bar, which is a little bit more deeper. Or from here, once I do this, pop, pop, right? Boom. See how I just slid my hip over? You slide the hip over, bang. And then you can get that strike right here. Or you can slide this way, boom, get the strike right here. That would be, let me just turn this way so you can see. Once you slide your hip over, there's your elbow strike, right? So what we're doing is we're throwing techniques in combination. We're stepping, right, with the heel stomp. We're kicking, boom. We slide over, bang, right? From here, I could actually slip right out. Notice how I'm slipping my hand in here? Once I turn, there's the arm bar right there. And then I can drag him down. I can take him down to the ground and get out of there. But the key with the techniques, you grab it. The key with all this kind of stuff, when you start turning and all that, that's not going to work if you don't soften the guy up. You soften the guy up with strikes. Strikes like this, right? This kick here, that's going to take his brain off of what he's doing. He's going to react to the pain. So once he reacts to the pain, that buys you enough time to actually work a technique and then get out, okay? The kicks alone might get you out. So that's one, right? The other technique from behind, up, right? So this is common, like this, right? Now, as soon as you feel this, what you need to do is you really want to avoid this. Once you get here, there's two types of ways you can get choked, right? You can get choked and you can get strangled. They affect you differently, right? Strangulation blocks the blood flow. A choke will crush your trachea. So there's differences there, right? Depending on the mood of the bad guy, if he wants to, he could simply knock you out. And once you're unconscious, that's it. He can drag you wherever he wants, do whatever he wants. The goal is to stay awake, right? Once you feel this, you need to turn and put your chin in the pit of the arm. He can do this all he wants. He's not going to break your chin. As long as it doesn't get to your throat. That's the key, all right? So as soon as we're here and we feel this motion, boom, we're going to be right here, right? From here, what I want to do is immediately I need to grab this, right? From here, that's when I'm going to slide this way and expose him this way. But I'm going to maintain this grip. I don't want him to get this arm free. This is where I expose him here, I target here, and then again, I just turn underneath, and there's my arm bar right here, all right? I'm going to keep this nice and close, because if he tries to pull away, I can move with him, okay? So I'll go over that one again, because there's a couple of parts. He comes around, I want to be here, right? I want to grab this, move this way, boom. There's that strike to the groin. I simply just pivot and turn. And I want to drive into that elbow. See how he's already moving down? So once I drive in, if I decide to keep going, I'll all bound to it and take a break. Okay? Any questions on that one? No questions?
Yeah.
Yes?
When you say turn your chin in, you're not going like this to cover your mouth.
No, you're literally putting your chin in the pit of the arm. If you ever felt what a choke feels like, right? If somebody, see, right here, it's a good choke. Right? So the way a choke works, if the guy's in the street doing it right, is to choke somebody, really all you have to do is from here, once you get his throat in the pit of your arm, all they need to do is flex the muscle. That's all they have to do. They don't actually have to lever the arm and do all this stuff. But really what would end up happening was it would be very violent, and you'd probably be getting shaken and all that kind of stuff. So what you want to do is as soon as that comes, I'm here. You see that? So now he's way off from the throat. He's nowhere near the throat. He's against my chin. You see that? So once he's here, he could pull all he wants and try to flex and choke. I'm talking fine. He can't hurt my throat, right? Now I want to keep control here because I don't want him to make his way down. You see that? So I'm here. You're going to actually tuck your chin in this way, right? So when you're tucking your chin in this way, okay? So you could, but listen, in the street, you do what you have to do to get home. You understand? I tell my students that all the time. You do what you have to do to make it home. But here's the key. Once you start to bite and you create the exposure of bodily fluids, blood, things like saliva, now you have to be very wary of HIV, hepatitis, things like that. So that's why I'm digressing a little bit, but she brought up a good point. It's very important that a lot of your strikes and stuff be open hand strikes, where once you start punching people in the mouth and stuff like this, you cause your knuckles to bleed. Even as females, a great weapon to rely on is your nails and you scratch, right? But you have to also bear in mind that when you do that, you're gonna have DNA under your fingernails, you're gonna have blood, tissue, skin, stuff under your fingernail. So is that a great tool? Absolutely, you do what you have to do to get out of there, but you have to be very wary because you don't know. This guy could be an intravenous drug user. You don't know what the story is, all right? So the decisions you make, you have to be very careful, okay? All right, so back to that technique, right? So I'm here, I'm tucking my chin in just a little bit, and I'm here, so he could choke all day, and he's not gonna affect my throat. As soon as I feel this, I'm gonna grab this arm so I have some control. Once I'm grabbing the arm, pretty much it's all one motion. I'm just gonna kind of turn my hip, I'm moving my hip to the side, just to open up that line of attack, right? And then that's when the strike will happen, here to the abdomen, the groin strike, and then I'm just gonna turn and slip right out and just apply enough pressure, right? If you really want to, at that point, boom, you can give him a knee to the face, kind of drive him down, stuff like that. But the goal is to just kind of create enough time so you can get out of there. This is not, MMA. We're not getting a big purse. I'm not fighting for 100 grand. I'm fighting for my life. It's a big difference. So you want to beat the guy up, just enough to distract him and get out of there. Okay? Any other questions? No? Do you have a question?
So with your choke, you're really turning your head and moving your chin down.
Yes. What happens is with the choke, as soon as you feel this is your indicator, right? Who's this guy? Boom. As soon as I feel that, I'm ducking my chin and I'm aligning it with the pit of his arm. They refer to this as the pit of your arm, right? So once I feel this, oh, boom, automatically I'm just turning right in there. And then once he's here and I know my neck is okay, at that point I'll make my second decision, which is to grab and then hit. Once I grab and hit, then I turn, and now I can apply pressure and get him out of it. You could break the ankle, drive him down, pull him down, whatever you need to do, and then you boogie, get out of there. Okay? All right. There's a couple more. I don't want to get too complicated right now. But there's one, since we're doing chokes. Actually, no, we'll do the headlock one, right? So if you're in a situation where we're here, go for the headlock, right? He goes for the headlock, boom, okay. Now this is very not good. Right? Once you're here, the very first thing you need to do is keep your hand on your chest, right? Because the next step typically from here is he's going to start wailing on your face, right? So I want to go from here. If I keep my hand on my chest and I'll throw you a punch, right here. You see that? So I can block his punch, right? What I would do from here is I would simply, let's move this way a bit. Keep it. Yeah. Now this is very easy. It looks very difficult, but it's not. From here, all I'm going to do is slide down right above his knee. See how his knee is already locking up? Right? All I'm going to do is apply a little bit of pressure and just pivot him down. And he's down. And the show is over at this point. Stomp on his head 3 times, 1 or 2. Anybody can do this, right? All right, so he goes to the headlock, right? I'm here, right? I want to keep this hand here, right? From here, I'm just going to go down, get the lockout, and it's going to be very quick. And I'm just going to step on him, boom, boom. All right, now there's a variation to that as well.
Carl, let me ask you.
Absolutely, Ken.
So you're trained, so you know what to go and look for. Are people really able to keep that sense of what is right to do that quickly to get?
You know what? In all honesty, there is no right or wrong.
Because I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to be freaking out. I don't know if
Well,
I can remember it, but I should
here's the thing. Gross movement is the key, right? Freaking out, right? She's freaking out. Joe Bad Guy grabs her from behind, boom. That doesn't take a lot of technique. You don't need a black belt for that, right? Boom. I don't need a black belt for that.
Right.
I can turn my hips, bang, groin's exposed.
Okay.
Boom, right?
Yep.
All these things here. You could get very technical, but just to be on the safe side, I could easily, boom, just that technique alone, just rolling my shoulders and just, shooting my butt out into his abdomen. That's going to buy you enough time to create space. Boom, boom, a couple of groin strikes, or even just grabbing the groin and squeezing. The fight is over at that point. It's over, trust me. Unless he's on LSD or something, it's different. For real. For real. You have to watch those, cop shows. The real cops in the street video, whatever. And you see, there was a guy that they hit him with 5 shots from a taser and they couldn't take him down because he was on drugs, right? So, you know, I don't want to get too deep and too esoteric, but a lot of what you do is based on how it affects the attacker's nervous system, right? And if his nervous system is already jammed up from a drug, then it's a little difficult. That's when you have to start taking away his attributes. And what does that mean? I would affect his eyes, you know, affect his breathing. Just especially with the ladies with the nails, you know. If Joe Bad Guy is trying to grab you here, as soon as he grabs you, what's to stop me from going right here? Right here, just mash the eyes. It sounds nasty, right? But yeah, you can't worry about that. You know, as soon as he's grabbing, boom, I'm right here, boom, right? Or I'm right here, right there, or that little shot right there. That's gonna stop the guy from breathing. And once people get, you know, panicked, right? Like they can't see, they can't breathe, that is your advantage, that is your time to go, okay? All right, there's a couple we could do here, like the shoulder grab. This is a favorite of mine because it's very easy, right? All you need to do is from here and just turn over. And now from here I already have a lock. If I just apply a little pressure, you could get a lock.
The strength
right
doesn't matter so much with that?
Strength doesn't matter because when you start to bend joints in unnatural positions, it doesn't matter how strong you are. The joint is not made to go that way. You see what I'm saying? So once you could just do it to yourself. If you take your wrist and start pushing it down, you're going to feel the tendon. It's going to hurt. It's going to be pain. So as soon as you start doing that to somebody, they should feel the pain unless the communication between pain and the brain is cut from a drug. That's different. So now what that means is even if this guy was on drugs and I decided to do this, I would have to break it so he can't use it, right? Because at that point, if it's broken, it doesn't work, right? And that is when you get deeper into self-defense. You want to basically take their attributes away from them. You want to make sure that, okay, if the guy is mobile, boom, I'll break his knee. So now he can't move, right? If the guy is, say he's throwing a lot of punches, boom, you know, pow, I'll destroy this as best as I can, so he can't use it against me. That's when you get a little deeper. But basic self-defense, just do the respect. Basic self-defense, that's just going to get you out of there.
And if you're in a chokehold, then you do the stomping or...
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of ways you can do it. Like, for instance, you can grab this way, where your arms are free.
Yeah.
Right? That's different from, open up, that's different from this, where my arms aren't free. Right? So, I mean, if he grabs me here, I could just drop low, I could hit, come underneath, and then there you go. Or, you know, this is where you get into your stomps, your kicks, open up that line, and then do the same thing to get out of it. But once you start hitting the guy in good places, you're going to soften him up. And as soon as you feel, like right now, this is a pretty strong grip, but as soon as you, and I'm going to, just forgive me, right? As soon as you get a little, you know, you get the little reaction. As soon as you get those little reactions, those are the indicators that, okay, you know, and you're going to feel the grip will loosen, things will loosen. No one likes to get hit. No one wants to get hurt, not even the bad guy. So once the bad guy is hit and once he's hurt, he's not thinking about his attack plan. People can't multitask. Don't be fooled. You see it at your desk every day. Oh, these emails, this on a phone call. Oh. Your brain has to allot time for each individual task. So if he's focused on, I'm going to drag this guy in the bush, I'm going to drag this girl in the bushes, that's his plan. He's not deviating from that. As soon as you start to soften him up and make him feel pain, that wasn't part of his plan. So now he has to recreate a plan. All right, now I have to deal with this before I can get to where my ultimate goal. You follow? So that's the core of self-defense, is really you're throwing somebody off of their plan, right? And you're injecting your own plan. My plan is to get out of it, all right? So notice this is above. Now watch it, open up. Now when we're here, to answer your question, this is a different scenario, right? Can I use the same techniques? Sure, I can hold them, boom, boom, but now I can use different weapons. Pow, pow, you see that? This elbow to the body is not gonna work, because I can't reach his body. I can still do this, but now the elbow is gonna be here.
Break his nose.
You see that? Exactly, exactly, right? I can't move to the side because I can't reach the groin. That doesn't work anymore. So you do have to employ common sense, right? If this doesn't work, I'm not even gonna try it. Now, unfortunately, you may have to try it once to realize it is or is not gonna work. But this is where people get hung up, and I see this every day. People will try. Why is this not working? You know, it's not gonna work. Okay, that's how that goes. You see what I'm saying? It's that fast. This didn't work, here we go. Boom, pop, 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 you know, and I can get him in the lock and hopefully stay alive that day. All right?
Is the follow-up just as important? Because I see that, and that's the part that gives me.
Follow-up is very important. And here's the key. Ultimately, you would really want to get a guy down if that's possible, right? You'd want to get him down if you can.
Because I'm thinking to myself, if I do that, and I whip him that way, and he lets go a little bit.
Then you could bolt.
Shouldn't I bolt?
You
Should
can
I
bolt.
wait for the lock of the arm and get
No,
it
no,
out
no,
the
no,
door?
no. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You know?
I feel like
But-
My queen's
no,
upgrade,
no, no.
I'm ready to.
Yeah. The key is to create an opening so you can go. Right? That's the key. The key is, all I really want to do is create an opening so I can escape. I'm not trying to finish this guy. I'm not going to be in a situation where, you know, boom, 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 pow, pow, and I get out of here and I'm like, okay, buddy, let's go. You know, the title's on the line. You know, I'm not here for that. You know, I'm trying to boom, 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 pow, and go. Right? Now, the problem comes in where if you get that crazy guy that chases you.
Right.
See, that's the problem, right? And then at that point, you're screaming and yelling and drawing attention to yourself and things of that nature, and trying to rush to a public place, stuff like that. And then that would be your asset, your ally. You know, there's a lot of ways you can protect yourself without having to do all this kind of stuff. Stuff like when you go to Target at 9 o'clock at night, you're parking where it's well lit. You're not parking where it's dark. You know, you're parking where it takes a very minimal amount of steps to get to the car. Things like that. You're holding your keys. I don't have my keys. Who has keys? Who has keys? Nobody. Everybody gets
No,
one.
he's a set of keys.
Yes. He's got him. He's got him. He's the man.
Thank you, sir. I'm not going to destroy your keys. All right. This is. Yeah, I got to like this. Yeah, I'll show you. All right. A lot of stuff that I teach can apply to common household items, right? I could take my keys and simply walk in a manner where my keys are in between my knuckles, and I'm just walking,
My car.
right? From my
Back-
car to
I'm
Target.
thinking I have a 19-year-old who walks to Target at the
Yes,
end of the
yes.
day, and who's in
You know,
Manhattan right now and needs to wake
this-
up and know who's around.
If you hit a guy in the face with this,
Uh-huh.
this would be devastating.
Okay.
You know, you punch a guy in his eye with your keys. He's not going to want any more of you unless he's like, I got another ride. You know, that's different. You know, I'm still coming. That's different. That's it. You know, there's guys like that, and you got to get him again. You know, but on the other, but this is very common. This is a good technique. You know, even that big key. This guy's got a Benz. Whoa. So, you know, you got that big key. That big key. You know. This Joe Bad guy is coming up to me out of the blue, you know, hey, you know, boom, boom, boom. You know, I'll go in, I'll just start throwing strikes. You know, you grabbing me and doing this stuff, I don't know you. You know, I'm gonna try to defend myself. So you have that option, right? That is a option. This is pretty cool, Peter.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I'll take a little flashing with his name on it. That's pretty cool. Thank you for keeping. All right, so that's one option, right? Another option is the simple magazine. Right? In and of itself, you know, not that serious, right? You're probably born with some articles, but once you roll it up, wow, that's pretty hard. Wow, that hurt my hand, right? So at this point, you know, Joe Bag, we're using razors. Here's Joe Bad Guy's knife. You got the Sharpie? All right. Prepared. Martial arts teaches you preparedness. That's right. We're gonna get there. Don't worry. Yeah, look at that. He's on the team, right? So here's your Joe Bad Guy with his knife, and this is me with my rolled up magazine. if I see this coming and I just roll up that magazine and he comes, you know, I just start whooping it behind. You see? But once you start hitting the guy, boom, 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 and you overwhelm him enough to get out of there, that's all you need. Because if you notice what I just did, he attacked, and this is the kind of attacks you're going to get. With the blade, you're going to get this low. They're going to try to put the hand here, right? I want everybody to see. You're going to get this, right? We call that an angle 5, right? And you're going to get the guys that hack. They hack like that, right? Or they're trying to come over the top. Or you're going to get the guy that thinks he knows what he's doing, and he's going to be in what we call reverse grip or ice pick, and they're going to be coming down like that. That's what you're going to get, right? So there's reactions for all of that. If this guy's coming this way, that you could actually knock the blade out of his hand just with the magazine alone. You should be able to. If it doesn't, that pop, that's going to buy you enough time right there. And now if you watch the footwork, as he's coming, I'm already moving off the line. Because if I wanted to, I could just keep going. Just go. You see, I'm out. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to engage him. I'm just trying to create spaces where I can move, where I can keep going. Okay? So there is your magazine technique. I've been wanting to show that one for a while. All right. And that is your Sharpie knife. All right, the umbrella. What a formidable weapon this makes, the umbrella. This, I mean, man, like you could hit a guy, stab a guy, you can open it up and block strikes, all kinds of stuff. And if you're lucky and you have the hook, you can hook the guy around his neck, hook his leg, pull him from underneath. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. Even with that bottle of water, you can just, bad guy comes, splash the water in his face. These are things that they're not expecting. They're not expecting that, right? Any other questions?
Carl?
Yes.
There's been a lot of like hijacking of cars and driveways and things like that.
Driveways in your house, wow, that's yeah. If that's the case, you know, well, carjacking is rough. I'll tell you a story actually, and I was very surprised to see this. I live in Bay Shore, not too far away from Brightwaters actually, and there's a stopping shop over there. And I was with my wife, and we're walking, and we seen helicopters, you know, because we live right near there, so we walked over, and there's helicopters, and they flashed the light on us, the cop helicopter, and we're like, wow, you know, they're looking for somebody, right? And it's very rare around there. So as we're walking, we see a bunch of cops in Stop and Shop to the left, and it was a white truck of some sort, nice truck, and the cops all around. What's going on? There's a baby in the back seat, car seat. The guy that had the truck took off when the cops came and left the kid in the back seat. So obviously there was some kind of warrant or something out for that guy. It wasn't his kid, so he took off, right? So, you know, with the carjacking thing, I don't know if that car was jacked or whatever the case was, but that is a scenario that you gotta be really, really careful. There are some times where you're gonna have to just, you know, comply, right? Because you have to think about the position. Am I in an advantageous position, or is this disadvantageous to me, right? If you're sitting down in your car, if you don't have a good weapon you can refer to, like mace or taser, in your glove box or under your seat or in your purse, then you might have to say, all right, let me just give this guy the keys and get out of there. That might be the better option, you know? If you're in a position where you can defend yourself. I mean, me personally, it's a car, I have full coverage, I'll get a new one. You know what I mean? Is my life worth the life of the car? I don't think so. There was a famous boxer last year from Atlanta. He got carjacked with his nephew in the car last year. And he had a gun. So, you know, he's a rich guy, big, famous, nice car. He didn't want these guys to take his car. He chased the guy with his gun. And they set him up. He thought it was only one guy. It was 3 guys. So as he was running this way, the other 2 came from behind, pop, 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 and they shot him. They killed him right there. So these are, you gotta make wise decisions. Is my life worth the car? Not at all.
I think, isn't carrying mace illegal?
No, pepper spray is legal in New York State.
Pepper spray is legal?
Pepper spray is legal. Yeah,
Do you
mace,
buy it from a
mace you
certain-
can't get it. You can't get actual mace. Pepper spray you can get.
Okay.
Yeah, and they make cool pepper sprays that look like lipstick.
Yeah, where do you
You
get
know.
those? So those aren't just generally available. 'Cause I know
No,
when my
you
daughter
have to
did
go to
the
self-defense
city-
companies and stuff like that.
Even
Mhm.
like Sports Authority, Dick's.
Sports Authority would
stuff
have
like
it,
that.
They
yeah,
have the pepper
yeah.
spray?
Any place that sells like hunting, camping supplies, you know, like your, even probably some Walmarts might sell it in the fishing and outdoor sports section. You should be able to get pepper spray, but you can always get it online. Always get it online. There's a company called Cold Steel. They make the best spray ever. You spray a guy with that stuff, even if it takes a half hour after the fact for it to wear off. If he wets his face with water, it makes it worse.
I have a funny story about that. A long time ago, I don't remember when I had it forever. This little can of, I don't know if it was mace or whatever it was. It was a while ago that I had not, and so when my daughter went to see, I gave it to her. She had it on possible, it popped up and fell and then exploded.
Oh,
A couple of
yeah.
people around her actually,
Yeah, that's the problem. Pepper spray leaks when it gets old.
Yep.
That's the problem. So
She dropped it and, woo!
Yeah, it
A
was
couple of
probably
people had to go
yeah.
for,
They had to get a little
for
medical
some,
attention.
yeah.
Why do they sell pepper spray by hunting deer? I don't get the connection.
Get the deer.
Oh, I don't know. You have to talk to the product manager. Maybe the product manager works from MOTO. I
They
don't
sell,
know.
shotguns and stuff.
Yeah, but the guns.
Defense.
It's gonna
so
be, yeah. It's defense
in that
related.
department.
Yeah, like knives
Like a
and
strange
pepper spray, guns,
connection.
all that stuff goes hand in hand. Unfortunately, that's how it is.
Back to the carjacking,
So-
keeping the doors locked.
Yeah, keep matter of
the
fact,
space in
you
front of
might
the
want
car
to tell
in
your
front of you.
story about your
Yeah,
wife.
Because it happened to my wife. 3 guys came into her car, banging on the car with knives, trying to get in. And luckily, she's with me. I told her, keep your doors locked, keep the space in the front of you, so you could drive around to get out of there. And that's exactly what she did. She went to the cops, and they were like, "Did this really happen?"
Yeah, that's a different story. Right? Nassau County's finest. Yeah.
She got out of there.
That's the key. The key is getting out and being safe is the key. Carjacking, I mean, there was a real, one of those videos, video shows where these 3 guys, I don't know where they got the idea from, but these guys were like in Arizona or something. And they were gonna break into this guy's house, right? And this guy had video cameras all over his house, he had surveillance. So they decided to break into his house, but the guy was home, it was broad daylight. And they had guns, and I mean, like, you seen the video, one guy had like an assault rifle, and the other guy had handguns, but the guy in the house was armed. So as soon as he seen the guy coming up, I mean, he started firing at their car, and he shot up their windshield. And they, at that point, they didn't even fire a shot back. They just ran. They all ran. And then later on, the one kid came back for his car. Like maybe a minute or 2 minutes later, he came back, but the guy fired a couple of shots at the car. So when people are on your property trying to get you, those are choices that you have to make. What you're gonna do. But if you're in the house, it's best to just lock your doors, lock your windows, 911. If you have a firearm, I suggest you get training, security training on how to use your firearm to be safe. And yes.
No, I was gonna say she mentioned, can I really do this? You have to practice it. You have to practice.
Well, that's the key.
Get on the mat with the guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of what we do and what we teach is muscle memory, right? It's muscle memory. So, for instance, there's a drill that we do called hoop on, right? It's a Filipino drill. And basically, it's gonna teach this reaction, right? So I can feel his energy. I feel where he's going, right? Just from doing this drill, we can feel each other out. Right? He could have trapped and he could have came in and punched. See? So there's stuff that you have to drill it, you have to learn it. It doesn't just, okay, I took an hour class, I'm ready. Where's Bruce? I'm ready. Where's Bruce? Where is he? Yeah, it doesn't quite work like that. So this is stuff that it does. It takes days, weeks, months, years, when you get up there progressively. But again, you have to look at yourself and look at your attributes. I look at Rhonda right now. She would be a problem for a bad guy, as long as she took the tie off. The tie is bad. Not because it doesn't look cute, because it can grab you, right? Without the tie, she would be a problem. Look at those heels. If she steps, boom, boom, kicks. It would go through a shield. It would hurt, right? So there was a girl in Long Island not too long ago that was getting robbed, and the attacker got her on the ground. And when she was on the ground, he was this way. She had heels like that, and she boom kicked him right in the forehead, and the heel stuck, pierced his skull, hit his brain, and he died right on the spot. So he was dead, attached to her heel. And she just, waited, when the cops came with this guy attached to the heel. But he tried to attack her, and she killed him. And she was probably lucky, but the fact is that she used her attributes, which were her shoes. So she knew that. I mean, you could take the shoe off and start striking if you had to, right? You could take your glasses off if you can see glasses. Right?
Remember, I can't see the rest of it.
Right? You can take the glasses, and this becomes a weapon. If you stab a guy in his throat, or you stab a guy in his eye, that's a weapon. You see what I'm saying? These are things that you can use. Thank you. These are things you can use to increase your odds, increase your chances. One of my favorite weapons is this thing. Believe it or not, this is one of my favorites. Because if he was to come low, right, I could take this, boom, and there's my choke. There's my choke. Once I start choking this guy out, there's all kinds of stuff you can do. You just have to think about it, right? It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. There's no rules. Everybody's like, "Whoa, wait till my manager gets here." Cancel that guy. You see that? Yeah, I just gave you that much. That's our secret. It stays in this room, right? But again, these are little slick stuff that you learn. Take my class, you'll learn all this stuff. Trust me, trust me. I wanted to show one more thing, one more technique, because we got a mat here for a reason, not to just stand with, right? Obviously, you can get knocked down, right? So I'm knocked down. Boom, he knocks me down. This is a good one. Guys or girls, but girls in particular, I think, would benefit from this, right? Bad guy wants to knock you down because he's going to take your foot and he's going to try to drag you somewhere. So he's dragging me at will at this point, right? How would I stop this? I could get on my side, and then once I start to bicycle kick, he can't hold on, right? So from here, all I'm going to do is turn to the side, and then I'm going to just bring this in rapidly and just start kicking out really, really quick. Boom, 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 right? From here, I push back, right? And you don't want to use your hands to get up. You want to use your leg because you're going to need your hands to defend yourself, okay? Everybody see that? All right? And now I'm up, all right? So that's another good technique. If you do get knocked down, you want to roll to the side because they're going to try to grab you, maybe drag you. You start to do that kick. You see how his grip loosened? Then I can get up, get on my feet, and then address it. Maybe I can run, or maybe I can take my shoe off like Rhonda and start attacking him, whatever the case is. All right? Any other questions or comments? Flashlight, why not? I think we can talk about flashlight. Another common item. I tell all my students to buy a flashlight that has a clip. They make regular flashlights, obviously, but then they make tactical flashlights, right? And believe it or not, these are legal to carry on a plane. And these things are devastating, right? If you look at I'll just show it, right?
They are legal,
You see, they're legal, as long as it's 7 inches or less. You see the bezel on that?
You bring that on a plane with you?
You can,
Yeah, I
yes.
use TSA myself.
Right? You see that? And this is steel, right? The bezel is the top, and then the bottom. You see how it's serrated like that? You hit a guy with that, and you're gonna cut him pretty bad, see? You guys see that? Right? Flashlight, right?
So what do you say?
The key is-
In your jacket? I'm sorry, keep it in your jacket or?
No.
Your pants?
Keep it right here. Right there, right? Now the key with the flashlight is not only is it an impact weapon, but I can also use it to blind the guy, right? These things can do 80, 100, 150 lumens. By 50 lumens, you can blind somebody. Lumens is the power of the bulb that's in the flashlight. So once you flash a guy temporarily, that will buy you enough time to get out of it, right? So I don't want to hurt anybody. I hurt Rhonda's eye. Well, this will definitely help you at night. It'll even help you in the daytime, believe it or
Even
not.
in the daytime, this is,
Even in the
That's very
daytime,
bright.
if you look at that, how
It's
bright
annoying
that
from
is.
back here.
You know, if I'm gonna just shine it and just look at it, I'm not gonna put it in anybody's eyes, but if you look at that, if you look in there, it's gonna hurt your eyes, you know?
Oh,
Well, from a distance,
Yeah.
it hurts, so like
Exactly.
if you're
Exactly.
close up and you shoot
Now, if
that
you're
right in his
close
eye,
up and you
it's gonna-
boom, and you get a guy, you're gonna blind him. At that point, that's your exit strategy. Now that one, all right? Also, you can use this, I mean, at night, this is great. Like if you walk into your car, you know, and another thing that's really, really smart is at night, if you see anybody strange in your car, speak with authority. Even if you're being attacked, stop, you know, stop. You know, those kind of commands. People react to commands. You know, stop, get on the ground. You start talking like, say, like, you know, police officer type commands. You start flashing a flashlight. People, whoa, you know, bad guys gonna think the cops are around. You got out of here. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Wait a minute, who am I missing?
Exactly, exactly. So you start to project your voice, speak loudly, use commands. You know, get your tactical flashlight. You know, you move around, and trust me, those things make a big difference. Makes a big difference.
where do you get the flashlight?
Believe it or not, this particular one I actually bought from Home Depot, actually.
Really?
Or Lowe's. They sell, Lowe's and Home Depot sell this one right here. It's like $30, $40. And this is a real good one. It doesn't, some of them can be very expensive. They can be $150, $200, you know. But at the end of the day, all you really need is something
has a
that.
strobe in it.
Yes, it's a strobe. The strobe is disoriented.
Yeah.
So if you flash the strobe and you keep it in their face, they're disoriented. If the attacker can't see you, he can't get you. You know what I mean? So you have to think of it from that perspective. If I temporarily blind him, or if he can't see me, he can't get me, and then that gets you the opportunity to move on and get out of there. All right? So how can
That
we,
way you could sit there on the back button and make the
yeah,
same
I
strobe
mean,
effect.
you could do the same thing, but I mean, once you hit a guy a couple of times with the light, if I'm in close proximity, I'm not gonna flash you, but if I'm in close proximity and he's attacking me, I can flash him and then I can bash him. You see that? One or two, boom, 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 as I'm moving to get out. You see, you like that, right? Put that on the website. So that's the one option, you know. If the guy is coming at you, he's coming, boom, boom. Those are the options right there. Because you're gonna get a reaction. And as
Yeah, I could see it from here, I see
yeah.
that little bit.
Once you, that's why for training I flash it on his chest. I don't want to jam him up. This thing it'll blind you to the point where you can get a little headache. You know what I mean? So that's the deal right there, right? Look at the shirt. Look at that.
Just as the
Right.
aspect of
$30,
studying them,
$40
that you have
flashlight.
something, I
Hmm?
think it just studying them changes their plan.
That's the key. That's the key. The key is to change the outcome of the situation.
I have a true
Right.
story where a guy came up to me, punched me in the face, in the mall, and then unprovoked. I think the guy was at a mental institution. Starts bouncing around, come on, let's go, and I'm like, take off my sunglasses, I'm, who are you? Starts bouncing around, and then he pulls out a butterfly knife on me. So I get into a defense position, and he just walks away. Just from him thinking I knew what I was doing, changed his whole plan.
Can you teach us all that?
A butterfly knife, it's a Filipino weapon. It's also called a balasong. It has two handles and then the blade, and those are the knives that they kind of twirl and the handles kind of clack together. They're quite illegal in New York State, but you know, people carry them anyway. You can actually get them, but you can't. It's illegal to carry. So they're legal to sell, illegal to carry. Go figure. It's New York State. Yeah.
I have one question.
Yes.
If I'm home by myself, somebody knock door or come to my home, I have no weapon, call 911?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the key is to make sure your doors and your windows are locked, you know?
Yeah, I know, but 911, it comes take like 2 minutes.
Yeah, in some cases, but if you really want to know the truth, you want to lock yourself in a room where a safe, a safe room. Maybe your safe room is deemed your bedroom, right? A safe room is a room you can run into, hide. There's a phone in here. There's a lock on the door. I can lock myself in that room, get to my phone, and I'm good until 911 or your husband or whomever can get there first. Gets
Another
there.
tip is to make an index card with all your information. There's a, there's a home invasion, my address, who I am, blah, 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 because in the heat of the moment, you're gonna forget these things and you're gonna be like with the
Right.
police. But once you tell them home invasion, that's the key word to
Yep.
get them they'll be
To
there
react,
quicker.
yeah.
A lot quicker.
Yeah. There was a guy in Massapequa who some kids broke into his house, and they actually, he had a gun. He ended up shooting one of those kids, but the kid didn't die. The kid got shot in the leg or something like that. Went to the hospital. And that's how he got busted, because he went to the hospital to get the bullet removed.
And sue the
So,
homeowner.
and you can actually, you can. A criminal can actually sue you if you hurt him while he is in your house.
Oh, that's why you have to.
Yes, that is very, very true. You can get sued. Yes,
When
so,
they come to your house, you will-
yes. A criminal comes into your home and you beat him up, stab him up, shoot him, whatever you do to him. Even though he's gonna get arrested, he'll probably get locked up, he can sue you.
Sue or charges? It's
Well,
different, right?
he can sue you, and I guess it would really be up to the judge at that point, or, if they were gonna charge you with anything. A lot of that, how that would turn out would be based on the court, that you're dealing with. But that is very true, that they can get you, Even if you call it
It's
self-defense.
self-defense.
Yeah, even if you call it self-defense, he still has a right to sue you, like personal injury or something. There's like a loophole for that.
But
So,
maybe if you don't do something, then you will die.
Yeah.
well, that's the problem, right? You don't do anything.
He might be able to sue you, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's gonna get anything.
Yeah, it doesn't mean he's gonna win,
You just
you
have to
know?
maybe hire a lawyer to approve
Right,
self-defense. but
exactly.
You wanna just make the
Yeah, that'll be the
You
only
could prove that
limitation.
his intent was
To harm you.
To harm you.
Yeah, he was trying to steal your stuff, he was gonna harm you, blah, blah, blah. That would be your attorney's job to prove that, I'm not saying that if a guy doesn't, breaks into your home, don't do anything. A guy breaks into your home, do whatever you have to do, right? Call 911, stay safe, blah, 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 be prepared. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really what it boils down to, is a little preparedness goes a long way. You'd be surprised, just being prepared, simple stuff, flashlights, keeping things around, keeping your items close. One thing is very important, women, you shouldn't walk around with those big purses. You give people stuff to grab on, especially if you wear it around your neck. If I grab the strap on the purse, now I'm grabbing your neck and grabbing everything. That's not a good idea. You know what I mean? The ties, stuff like that, that's not really a good idea, because I could grab it, pull it, I could choke you with it. These are the things that you have to think about. Glasses hanging from your neck, stuff like that, it's not a good idea.
Scarves.
Yeah, scarves, sweaters I tie around my neck, all that stuff, that's not a good idea, because you're giving people things to grab. Because at the end of the day, that's what I need, right? If he's here, I need something, right? Once I have something, then at that point, that's it, it's over. But I need something to grab. It's either gonna be you or it's gonna be an item. And one of the problems with people, and this is the nature of people, and in my 20 years of training martial arts and self-defense, I always see this, right? This is his umbrella. I do this. His natural reaction is to pull it back. That's every human's natural reaction. They wanna
That's mine.
They want to fight. They want to fight. You can't do that with Joe Bad Guy. He pulls your stuff. If he pulls the stuff, I'm going in. You see that? I took his energy and just moved it toward him. He's not expecting that.
So if he let go, your momentum would go backwards?
If we're doing a tug of war, it's just like a tug of war when you were in school, right? When the kids let go, the other kids would fall, right? Boom, oh, and that's no good either, right? So the key is to understand sensitivity. If he just jerks a little bit, I feel that, I'm not gonna fight him. You see, I'm not gonna fight him. I'm just trying to feel where he's going. If this is not, I'm going this way, right? If my umbrella starts going that way, something's wrong. You see what I'm saying? A lot of that is just common sense. So with that being said, I'm not gonna, fight him. He's a big guy, he could be stronger than me, I don't know. So who's to say I can't just go like that and move on and get out of it? Because at the end of the day, you can go home, you can cancel your credit cards, you can do all that stuff and be safe, right? If you're sitting here fighting this guy in the street, and this is all we have separating us, and we're struggling, it doesn't take long for him to get from here to where I am. It's not gonna take long, And then at that point, who knows what's gonna happen? We hope that nobody in this room gets there. But just, be diligent, and I think everybody will be okay. Any other questions? No? Okay. Was it informative?
Yes, very.
Yes, very. All right. You like that? All right. So on your way out, if you could, and if you're interested, just please sign that sheet. That was the sign-in sheet designed by Rhonda.
I take the classes. I've taken, I think, series 8.
You've been here since pretty much day one.
Also, you
Yeah.
can be part of
For the
the,
most part.
we want to see. You
Come
have the
on,
heels.
You gonna make it take a
Get
sheet
him a
as well?
form.
Could you just
One
tell
more
us a little
thing,
bit about your
Brian.
class before people go?
Yeah. Basically, the way we run the class is we do it in 6-week series. It's like a specialty series, right? So 6 weeks, we'll take a particular topic that I'm going to teach, and we'll delve into that particular topic. Whether it be empty hands, whether it be the knife, whether it be stick, etc. The key, in all honesty, it's very difficult to teach people how to defend themselves against weapons if you don't know how to fight with them, right? So you'll get a lot of these karate guys and all these different martial arts, and they'll do these very static knife drills where, yeah, they'll do very static knife drills. That's your knife. It's very sharp. It's a sharp.
It's a sharp jacket.
Sure.
Right? So, you know, you'll get these guys just do your ha, and they'll go ha, you know, very, very static. You just leave it out, and they'll go ha, and then they'll kick, and they'll do, you know, something like that. That's not how you learn how to defend against a weapon. You really need to understand what that weapon can do. You need to understand the capabilities of a knife. You need to understand the capabilities of a blunt weapon. A blunt weapon could be a baseball bat. It could be a crowbar. Devastating. It could be a knife. It could be a wrench or a hammer. I had a friend of mine, and I lie to you not, he was on a train in the city, and he said a guy tried to attack him with a hammer on the train, on the subway. He was just sitting there, and the guy just got up, had the hammer, and just, you know, started coming to some strange guy. And my friend is trained, he broke the guy's arm, right? So there's things that, you know, can happen, but we need to understand how this stuff works, right? So, you know, again, with the knife, you're not truly going to understand how to defend yourself from a knife if you don't understand how a knife works, right? A small 3-inch knife can actually cut through your muscle tissue, your skin, muscle tissue, arteries, everything get down to the bone. If it's a decent blade, that's just a decent blade. A box cutter will damage you. And another thing to understand is that cuts are more devastating than stabs. You could stab a guy in his heart, and as long as he doesn't take the knife out, he will live. If they surgically remove the knife, he's gonna live, right? But if you slash a guy's arteries, the carotid artery, the femoral artery, things like that, they're gonna die. You know, you could slash a man's Achilles tendon, and he'll bleed out, he'll die. He'll die, because it's based on the percentage of the blood flow that flows through those arteries, right? 20–30% of your entire blood flow goes through your femoral artery, which is actually in your thigh. Starts from up here, goes all the way down your thigh, all the way down, and it's tied to your heart. 30% of your blood flow, you slash that, and that's a problem, right? There's no way you're gonna stop that in time. So there's things you have to understand before you say, hey, you know, I want to defend myself against this or that or that. You know, you really need to understand how those things work and how they can affect you. Once you understand that, then you get a better understanding of what to do. And that's when the training comes into play. You follow? You remember the passing drill? You know,
Which one?
the passing drills, when we pass the blade like this.
No.
No? I know you know what that is.
Show it, then I'll remember it.
Right? I'll show what you do, right? So for instance, this is my knife, right? If most attacks, when you attack with the knife, you're gonna get an angle 1, an angle 2, an angle 3, an angle 4, right? And bad guys try to come low, angle 5, they'll try to come high, angle 5, and they'll try to come over the top, angle 5. All right? That's what you're typically gonna get. So he's empty hands, I have the blade, right? What I'm gonna do is, he has no weapon, right? Now I'm gonna try to actually touch him. I can't touch this guy, you see? Because he understands what to do, right? He attacks, I'm here. All I'm doing is I'm meeting it. I'm not reaching for it. I'm meeting it and I'm redirecting it. Now, will we do this in the street a million times? No. What I would end up doing is coming in. You see that? And now getting control. But you have to learn. Once I get this control, I bring it down. Boom. And then it's over, right? But you have to understand that, oh, if I'm here, I can simply redirect his energy.
Why are your hands
Right?
open?
This way?
Yeah.
Because if I'm like this,
You can touch.
go ahead. There's arteries in here. And then you have your flexor tendons, right? So the key is to understand, in a weapons type situation, guy has a weapon. It's highly likely he's going to use that weapon against you. Highly likely, all right? It's highly likely that you're going to get cut. It's highly likely you'll probably get hit with a blunt object. It's highly likely. That's the key, right? So now, how do I reduce the issue? How do I reduce it? All right, I already understand that the probability of me getting cut is high. So if I turn my arms this way and I get cut on the back of my forearms, is it gonna hurt? Probably. But does it stop me from gripping? No. Are there any arteries here that are gonna cause me to bleed out? No. So this, I'll survive. You see what I'm saying?
Well, that gives you confidence.
This, you're not gonna survive if you can't get out of it. If he gets a good cut right here, you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. All right. So those are the things that you know you want to understand. That's why it goes a little deeper than just self-defense. You see what I'm saying? Take the class. Trust me.
Yep.
But if they have a blade, knife, have a blade that come to your throat, you need to grab it, otherwise you can't.
Well, actually, to a point, you're correct. What happens is when people get attacked with a knife, they tend to move back or run away. Right now, in certain aspects of technique, yes, you might need to go back, you know, for footwork purposes, things of that nature. But if he attacks angle 5 low, I don't want to keep going back. What I would want to do is I would want to go into the blade. You really need to get over that fear. That's why if you look at the videos, when we train, and I'll send, whoever signs up, I'm going to send you a link to the website and I have a bunch of videos posted with all my students, right? Yeah, and he's got that big $10,000 camera over there. So with us training, matter of fact, see, Rhonda is so on it, right? If you look at the video, you're gonna see we're using training knives, right? That actually are made of metal, that are the same weight and feel of tactical folding blades or knives. Because you have to train responses, reaction. You can't be afraid to move in. Once he comes low, my goal is to get control. If you're too far away, if you're too scared, you know, he will always have control. The attacker will always have control. You know, there are portions of that you have to overcome in order for you to gain a certain level of control.
Yeah, I mean, but if the blade come to you, if you use the back of your hand, and then.
Well, when you say the blade comes to you, I assume, what do you mean, like from behind, or if the guy's here up front, or?
Yeah.
Well, I guess what do you mean, if he was like this, or if he's like this, with the blade actually against your throat?
If he comes from behind you. Like
Well, I mean, you could get to a point where you might have to comply. But truth be told, in a scenario like this, if I simply take a step back, I'm okay, unless there's an obstruction here. If there's an obstruction here, I mean, I could easily simply give myself enough space, and now I'm here.
Yeah, what if,
You see?
if they
So this is-
behind you and
Yes, behind you is going to be the same technique like the choke. You know, if he's here, what I want to do is, the first thing you don't want to do is you don't want to bring this across your own body, right? Because you could get caught, right? But it's going to be basically the same exact technique. As long as I bring it down, now I have control. You see, the same technique, boom, boom, boom. I can turn around, here's my arm bar, and I can do whatever I need to do and get out of it.
this is long
So-
knife.
Come to the class and bring a knife. Come to the class, bring a knife, and we'll work it out. We'll work it out. Okay. Any other questions? Did you guys enjoy it? Did you ladies enjoy?
Yes, that's the next class you're doing.
Oh, well, thank you, thank you. How's my public speaking?
Excellent.
All right, I'll come teach a class. Thank you for your time.
Don't forget to sign.